To support this podcast, go to positivesarcasm.com/donate. Any amount is appreciated. Once again, positivesarcasm.com/donate. Thank you and enjoy the program. Jay here, positivesarcasm.com, recorded here from an undisclosed location. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with the past few weeks, but this is probably the most important week. No, I take that back. It feels like the most important week of my life. I'm going to take you back even farther than the last few weeks. I'm going to take you back all the way to 2017. That was in the very, very beginning of my 100-episode YouTube project. And right in the very, very beginning, I received a voicemail that we are all never really prepared for.
Hey, Joe, it's Dave. We have a sort of a situation going on with Dad down in South Carolina. It sounds like he is expecting and is on his way out. I've talked to Mom, talked to Dee, talked to Jim. Dee, the idea is he's not immediately imminent, but they're thinking probably within the next, I don't know, I'm sort of anticipating the next week or so. We're planning to go down somewhere in the middle of next week, that being January 18th-ish. So not sure what your plans are, but that's what's going on, and if you're planning on joining, let me know.
I didn't know at the time that was going to be one of the last times I'd ever hear from my brother. Different reasons, but silence is silence. It's the same thing. But that was in the very beginning when I was trying to stretch out and see how creative I could take myself. But do you stop and attend to things, or do you keep going? I figured I was going to be creative, so I just continued to be creative, and I went down there, and it wasn't so much about my creativity. It was the fact that you started something, you should finish it. So I went down there, and I handled the situation, I guess, about as good as anybody can. And that being said, so I was down there, and when it was all said and done, and knowing that when I was going to walk out that door, I would never see my dad again. He laid there in his bed, drifting in and out of consciousness from the amount of breakthrough medication that the hospital was kind enough to give him. And I looked over him one final time, stared him right in his eyes, and I didn't know if he was there or not. I don't know if he heard me. And I'm not going to assume that he did. But at that very end, he knew I was there. But I don't think he heard my final words. But I stood directly over him, and I said to him very, very distinctly that I would never, ever let anyone use our name for their own manipulative gain ever. I would protect our name. I would protect our values, and I would do whatever it took, no matter what the cost, no matter what the stresses it put on me. I would protect our name. I made that promise. I also made a promise to him that I would never live my life picking up somebody else's trash. So far, I've actually held to that one too. I didn't grow up to be a garbage man. And I didn't grow up to have my name tarnished. I know I have sort of a loudmouth reputation, but I am a man of my word. And I've spent the last 2 years, most importantly, despite all the other years of learning and growing and making mistakes and trying to fix things and trying to make something out of all this. But the last couple of years, especially, I made a real hard effort to make sure that I was pure, that my intentions were real, and that my name was no joke. Well, I'm now at that moment where, well, first of all, I haven't heard from my brother since that month. And I never saw my dad again after I said that to him. But I kept going. And I made that oath to him. And now I sit here prepared to live up to that oath. I am 1 week away. Less than 1 week away from starting a legal situation. I can't go into detail, but you guys, if you've been listening to the last few podcasts or the last few videos, you know what's going on. You can piece it together. And through my advisors, through my counsel, at this point, I have been as cooperative and peaceful and courteous and whatever friendly words you want to put together. But now I have to protect my name. It's all I got left. If you don't have a name, if you don't have your word, what is your value? I'm not going to sit here and just let me get run over. So I'm going to compare this to something it's an odd comparison, but it does it justice. Well, justice, pardon the pun. So I watched the new Justice League. You guys know I love watching movies. I love the creativity behind it, and I talked about a podcast once about reviewing the Justice League and how it was a terrible movie. Joss Whedon did a horrible job. It was just one of the worst movies ever. But he sabotaged that flick. And somebody ruining all of your effort, like what Joss Whedon did, ruining Zack Snyder's efforts in his time of tragedy. And you have to undo the mess that someone selfishly and most likely purposely created. He had to clean up that whole mess and make that project viable again, valuable. But he needed help. He needed the fans' help. And through that support, he was able to put out a movie, a saga with chapters, and I watched that and I appreciated it so much more, and I appreciated him so much more for not only dealing with the tragedy in his family, but rising above the garbage that somebody else had created and taking that mess and turning it into something quite good. I'm in that same situation where somebody has used my name and my values and my hard work for their own personal, selfish gains. That's without question. And it's now my job to get my name and my value and my effort back. But I need your help. And when I say I need your help, I'm going into this 100%. It will take all of my resources and a lot of my time and a lot of my emotion to get through it. And in the end, nobody wins in this scenario. I never cared about the money. I only cared about the life that I was putting all of my time and effort and love into. But I need, at this point, reality is reality. And reality dictates that I need resources. Do I have them? Yes. I have the right counsel. I have the proper amount of resources. And I'm prepared to use them. But I just don't know how long it's going to take, and I don't know how much more I'm going to need. But I'm ready to do it. And I'm days away. But I need your help. And the emotional casualties that will come from this, it's a war. This is a war. Nobody wins in a war. This will be something that will forever be a part of me. But it is something that you can at least be a part of. And I'm sorry I can't be your friend right now, or be your family, or be your brother or uncle. I can't emotionally divide myself like that right now. But right now I need you to be my brother, my uncle, my friend, my whatever, and help me. If you can spare it, send it. I don't know what's going to be left for me after this. I really don't. I can research it all day long, but I know the initial loss. And if you only want it to be used for legal purposes, just say so. You know how to support me. You know how to get it to me. Just write for legal use only. And if I don't have to use it for that, I'll give it back. I'll give it back, whether it's partially because I had to use some of it or in its entirety because it didn't have to be used. I wouldn't do that to you. This isn't a game. I'm doing this to protect my name. I'm doing this to protect all of my efforts. The efforts that you have to go through in life. You need to have this type of credit score in order to move ahead in these parts of life, whether it be a phone or a bank account or a house. You need to have this amount of money in order to do this or deposit that or get these things in life to survive. That's reality. And I need your help right now. Whatever you can do. I can't afford friends right now. I can't afford family. I can only afford to fight. That's all I can do. So if you can send it, send it. You've been supporting me in other ways, but I emotionally don't need that right now. Right now, I just don't need emotions. I know what things I'm fighting for as far as love. But overall, when it's all said and done, I'll have to protect my name. Otherwise, I have no value to you or anyone. I won't be able to do a gig without knowing that I could lose all of it. It'll hurt my creativity, and ultimately it'll hurt this life project of mine. It could take a couple months. It could take up to a year. But if somebody was going to take your name and all the effort and hard work and overtime, per se, that you put into it, somebody was going to use that for their own personal gain and you get none of it, wouldn't you want to fight for it? Wouldn't you want them to be there for you, people, friends, family, whomever? I don't need somebody to talk to right now. I have that. When this is over, everyone who has reached out that I know of, and everyone who has reached out that I don't know of, I'll come to you. I'll call you. And we'll have a conversation. And you may hear it differently, but I'll be telling the same tragic story. But for now, I just need your help. Whatever you can send, in any way, shape, or form. Otherwise, I will be at the behest of another who can do what they please with no regard for me. You know, and all I wanted was my name back, and all I wanted was, my best friend. You've seen pictures of him. You've seen video of him. That's all I wanted was that, and I would bow out, per se. But some people just want to dig in their heels because they feel like the world owes them everything. Well, not this time. I said I would protect my name and everything else around it, and that's what I'm going to do. So if you can send it, send it. You'll know that you will be sending this for a cause where if you were in the same situation, you'd want somebody else to do the same. Some people wouldn't have the luxury that I do as far as being able to fight back. So understand that. This is a critical moment. And then maybe we'll, when it's over, have a chat. I didn't want to lose my humanity and my emotion through all this, but I feel like that is severely jeopardized because I understand that this is going to have echoing effects through people I've met over the past year. And my own internal emotions. But when it comes to your name, and the value behind it, you can't bow. Not one step backwards. I am upset with myself for even waiting this long But when I did post, finally, I got a lot of the answers I was seeking. So, I need your help. And this week is going to be a big week for me. But if for anything else, if you knew me or you knew my dad or you know my family at all, if you know my friends, if you ever had any respect for me, this is your moment to show it. And if you have no respect for me at all, if you wouldn't even bother doing anything for me, do it for my dad. Do it for his name. Do this for your dad. For your mom. For your name. Because I wouldn't want anybody to use my name for their own personal gain. I wouldn't want anybody to do it to you. I'm in an undisclosed location with an unknown future. And I'm not sure what's next. I hope for the best. And I hope now that I've lit the torches that you'll respond. My email is open. You can send me information that way. But just send the resources. Some of you already have. I greatly appreciate it. You've given me enough to, well, I don't have to take one step backwards now. So thank you. So here we go. Countdown begins. It's just weird thinking about it. I've never had to do this before. Seeking the truth. We're beyond the truth at this point. Way beyond the truth. I've done truth-seeking crusades before, but that was different. But I succeeded. I knew she was lying. I went on stage, kicked the bitch off stage, got my trophies, proved my point, shut off her phone, made it known that I knew. But it cost me a lot. And I was in debt for years. Now a new situation with new people and a different scenario and much more at stake. It's going to take a lot more than just finding out the 100% utter truth. We're beyond that now. Don't ever let anyone manipulate you like I have been. So, send whatever you can to support this. Maybe you'll hear from me Sunday. But thank you guys. Still radio silent on the cell phone. You know, I post, some stuff on my timelines through my phone, but I'm still not able to, respond to any messages at this time, whether it be through Facebook Messenger or through text or through phone call. I get some updates every now and then, but not right now. I don't need friends. I need people who can help me fight. like I said, you don't ever let anyone destroy your name or use it for personal gain. So here we go. Bring the noise. Thank you all for listening, watching, and subscribing. Check out the last, if you're not sure what's going on, check out the last few podcast episodes and also Monochrome Dream on my YouTube channel, Positive Sarcasm. Check those out. It speaks volumes. My pursuit hasn't changed. My wishes haven't changed. My dream hasn't changed. I'll talk to you guys on Sunday. Recorded here from an undisclosed location. This has been a Positive Sarcasm presentation.